Hi, friend.
Oh, you coming in, Rach? Rach coming in hot.
How are you guys?
Might take a second for you to pop in there, but she's coming in there. Hey, Rach, how are you?
Good. How is everyone?
No, you're frozen. Rachel's a little frozen. She's contemplating life, but hopefully it clicks in here in a second.
I think everybody else can.
All right, so while Rachel tries to get unfrozen, Broncos throwing back shoulder incomplete. Not good. I'm going to take Rachel out just for a second. Let's see if I can unfreeze her. There you are. Oh, then you froze again.
I'm good. The comments are
I don't know if we're overwhelming the internet there, Rach. Maybe just refresh or something. So I'm moving, but Rachel's a little frozen.
Hi. Are we happy? Are we bummed about the Broncos?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really bad here. So what you didn't want to do, you didn't want to stop the clock. You wanted to get first downs. That is not what you wanted to do. I'm going to try to get Rachel going again here.
I love the comments. Keep them coming.
All right, well, huge third down here. Huge third down. Here we go. Wow, that was terrible, bro. Okay, I'm officially a little nervous. I am officially a little bit nervous.
Should be.
Okay, Rachel, you there? Can you hear me?
I got you. Everybody else can see me. Can you?
I can't hear you.
Can everybody else hear me?
Oh, wait. I might know why I can't hear you. Okay. Gosh, you may be okay, but I might know why I can't hear you. Hold on 1 second. Let me try something. Can you hear me now?
I got you. Can you hear me?
Okay, hold on.
Okay, glad you guys can all hear me. We'll hang out. DMac will have technical issues. We'll hopefully chat, but
all right.
Yeah, terrible.
Hang on. I think everybody can hear you, but I can't, and I know why. And I'm gonna have to do some refiguring of things. So just chill.
Yeah.
I think I know what it is, but I'm gonna have to do a couple things. I can do them. It's just gonna take me a second. So I'm going to take you out, Rach. I'm going to take you out for a second.
Okay.
Take you out for a second, but I'm going to bring you back in. So just chill because I got to do a couple things. Hang on. All right. I'll get Rachel back in here. Rachel, I'll get you back in here in a second. I know what I got to do. It's some technical things. There's a sack. There we go. There we go. There we go.
He was followed by those 2 and 6. As Desmond Ritter warms up on the sideline, the former Atlanta Falcons starter. Tough situation for Ritter to come into. The watch the pressure. They bring McMillan off the slot. They bring Martin from the line.
All right. I had to make a slight adjustment, but I think I'll be able to hear Rach now.
Hi.
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Woo! There we go. I was chilling and hanging out with the comments, so it was all good.
Yeah. I got I don't want to bore people with stupid details, but maybe you can help me out with some technical stuff. But listen, I'm adjusting on the fly, Rach. You gotta be impressed. I can adjust on the fly.
So proud of you. I'm proud that the Broncos have somewhat figured out. It's still close. I'm not going to sit here and call it, but I'm glad that they look better than they did in the first half. Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's well, here we go. And I'm waiting for the turnover to inevitably come. All right, so Minshew comes out. All right. I'm at a bar, number 38. Cool place, Rach, by the way. So Minshew's hurt. So the Broncos eliminated Minshew.
Yep.
Finally. Oh, that's a fumble. Pick it up. That might be a fumble, Rach.
I'm not there.
That might be a fumble.
Piece.
Oh, I'm sliding. Sorry. All right, so that's a fumble. The one thing we know about the Raiders is they turn the ball over. Yeah, that was not going forward. No. So Benito forced the fumble there.
DMac, I'm just curious. Your overall feeling on this game?
Unsatisfied.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page then. I feel like that's all a Broncos country too.
Yeah, I don't feel great about it. But I mean, all I care about is them winning. So, listen, the Raiders turn the ball over. They always turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it took so long.
Yep.
The Broncos could get the Broncos don't need a touchdown here.
But I like it. Well,
they're gonna force the Raiders to take their timeouts.
Yep.
Yeah, there's one. So they got 3 timeouts and let's see here. And a 2-minute warning left. All right, well, tell me what are your thoughts, Rach? What have you seen here today? What do you think?
I have so many feelings, to be completely honest with you. The injuries, I'm a little worried about injuries for sure. My running back situation, again, I'm sitting here like, what are we doing in certain areas? And I feel the exact same way that you did. I feel like there's so much to dive into post-game, obviously. But I'm happy. I'm happy that Nick Bonito is finally, really popping off. This is his season. We've been kind of waiting, been like, what is he going to do? And I'm so happy that now this year has been his year. And it's just fun to be able to watch him. Because I feel like the past year, like last season, everybody was like, Nick Bonito, what are we doing? And I'm glad it finally became his season.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There's so much I want to dive into at running back too, you guys. Like, I see everybody in the comments talking about Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
I have so many feelings, DMac, and I'm also so curious about yours. I don't want to do the post game while we're not even at the 2-minute warning because who knows what can happen. But
we'll get there. We'll get there.
So much to dive into.
All right, here we go. Well, I mean, if they kick a field goal, it's a 2-possession game, so they really can be conservative here. And they are.
They should.
Well, okay, whatever. I mean, the Raiders should call another timeout. They don't. It goes to the 2-minute warning. All right, so listen, it feels weird. Like a field goal gives them 29 points. That's a lot.
It is. You know what? Honestly, though, I think it came down to.
Doesn't feel like that. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the Raiders got tired. I think that's just kind of what it came down to. It didn't feel like the Broncos made giant strides from the first half to the second half. Felt like it was kind of all the same game, but on the other side of things, the Raiders just got a little bit tired, and then the Broncos were able to capitalize on that. That's how I feel like this game went, which is why people feel that unsatisfiedness, we didn't see drastic changes. We just saw a different team get tired, and so they were able to capitalize. Is that do you have that same vibe?
Yeah, the Raiders, they're just, listen. Going into this game, they were minus 15 in giveaway takeaway, and now they're going to be minus 17. Yeah. And listen, I think Bo Nix has had a pretty great game overall. Let me look at some of the numbers. We're at the 2-minute warning, by the way. Bo Nix. Wow, he has thrown a lot, Rage. Holy schmoly. Wow, 25 of 42? 42 passing attempts? Oh, I see what you're talking about, Javonte Williams. Oh, my gosh. I didn't even realize.
Bad.
Eight for -2. Oh, my God.
It's really bad.
That is really bad.
Yeah, I see also the comment that's like Max Crosby doesn't look tired. And I agree, but he's also one of those freaks of nature. But the difference between the second half and the first half, I feel like, we were talking about him on every single possession, it felt like. And then coming into the second half, more towards the fourth quarter, I feel like we haven't talked about him as much. Still a lot, don't get me wrong, but as much. But he's he's one of those guys that's just a freak of nature, though,
Right. What's going on? How are you? You bring me a drink? Thank you.
DMac is one of the most popular people I've ever gone out with, ever. So this is
What'd
not
you say?
surprising one bit.
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you. Somebody's just helping me out here.
Dude, I'm telling you.
No, there's
one of the most popular people ever. I was at a happy hour yesterday, and people were talking about you. Like, you are one of those guys.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for not inviting me to the happy hour.
Yeah. We were meeting one of our very good friends, families. I was like, all right, this is chill.
No, that's okay. I didn't want to come to your happy hour anyways.
Sure.
What was I doing? I'm still burned out from the CU game.
Oh.
All right, here we go. This is the adjustment. They got Forsyth playing outside, not inside. Hey, look at that. Forsyth didn't get his ass kicked. Okay.
Woo.
All right. So 29-19. No, the Raiders will probably turn over one more time, Rachel, but the Broncos will just have to take a knee after that.
What do we think is wrong with Minshew? Hand?
Grabbing
his hand.
I don't know, actually. I didn't even see. I was fooling around with my garbage here. What do you think it is?
I don't know. I'm going to see if we get any.
Okay.
If anybody says anything.
Yeah, not to go too inside baseball, but I did figure some things out that is really freaking cool. Like I have a mixer, which is really cool, but for whatever reason, I can't hear you through this because you're not coming through the mixer. So I guess I don't know. I got to figure that out. But so you're just going to have to join me in person. That's all. That's what we're going to have to do.
Oh my goodness.
It'd be better if you just, be a big pain in the ass because you live. You live in New Mexico or wherever you are.
I live in the mountains.
All right, so the Broncos are up by 10. Early on, the special teams was a bit of an issue, and we can get into that in the post game as well. All right, listen, Rach. The bigger news is they're just beating the Raiders, right?
Absolutely, and this is what we honestly should have expected. I know everybody was hoping for a blowout. Ooh, I know I saw shoulder, but I'm like, I hope he didn't break anything. Everyone was hoping for a blowout, and it's a rivalry game. It's always going to be closer than it seems. And to be honest, it feels like the Raiders have just had a lot of really bad luck, right? We always want to say the Chargers going to Charger. Well, the Raiders are going to Raider for sure. Felt like that's been they're so good team. Oh gosh, you're ahead of me by probably 10 seconds. So
I'm that far ahead. Okay, I'll wait.
No, I love it because then I just don't know what to think. Oh, I see why you went.
Yeah, timing things out with watch longs is always it's always a challenge. Yeah.
I had my computer and then my TV downstairs, and there was a 5-second delay. So I was like, well, I'll stick with my computer, I guess.
Oh, usually I'm the one that's ridiculously delayed. It just so happens I'm out at a bar.
Yeah. How has it been?
It's awesome.
A lot of people come up to you?
Yeah, it's been a blast. People are so nice out and about. And no, I absolutely love it. I've never been to this one before, number 38 in Rhino. Really, really cool. Awesome vibe. You can take your dogs in here. It's all Colorado brews. You can take your dog, Rach. You'd love that.
I love my dog. I
love
her.
Your dog.
I do. Here, actually, well, since we're waiting, I'll show you this super cute picture from my wedding of my dog.
Okay.
We love a little show and tell, don't we, everyone?
Of course. Come on now. All right, let's see what you got. Oh,
She's so cute.
that is cute.
No. Let me see if it'll.
That is cute.
Yeah, that's really, really bright, but thank you. Anyways, it's my dog. That is my dog.
DMac wanted to draft this quarterback too. I don't even know who's in the game now. Who is it? Oh, Desmond Ridder.
Oh.
Desmond Ridder. He's bounced around. No, I wasn't really into Desmond Ridder.
Did you want them to draft Bo Nix? You and I didn't get the opportunity to chat.
Yes.
That was the quarterback you wanted.
Yes. I was screaming about it.
Oh, interesting. Let's see. How about it, too? The fact that they haven't won in Vegas yet. This is going to be the first one. Oh, we lost your audio. There you go.
They haven't. They've never won in Vegas, and they haven't won on the road against the Raiders since 2015.
Crazy.
So 1 minute to go. Now they got a first down. Oh, wow, that's a big game. Well, what they should do here, Rach, and we'll see if they're smart. They're down 10. They should kick the field goal right here. If they had any sense, they'd kick a field goal right now. Did I freeze Rachel?
No, I'm just watching.
All right, well, Rachel's frozen a little bit. She'll be back. Well, she's still frozen.
What's so funny is me and everyone in the comments are just straight chilling, and DMac is having a hard time.
Rach, maybe just refresh or something. I said 31-13 was my prediction. Oh, she's not frozen? No, okay. No. She's frozen. I'm frozen.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, Rach. We got some technical issues.
I'll take over. We'll kick you. I got this, my friend.
All right, I'm going to do something.
Let's hang out, everybody. How are we doing? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious. Also, can we talk about it? Okay, the guy behind me. The fact that he was in Vegas for the Raiders game today, which was really exciting. So I'm like, I love that so much. Yeah, there's like so much to dive into. But yeah, they have not won in Vegas yet. So this is a big deal.
Rage, can you see me?
I got you.
Okay, good.
We're talking about Champ being in Vegas.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, man, my dude. A win is a win indeed, everybody. Man, there's so many names that I recognize. I love that we've got so many good Colorado sports people here. Like, that is so awesome.
I love it. I
know. Oh.
All right, well, the Broncos are going to win this bad boy. And let me see here. Well, apologize for some of the technical stuff. Shit happens. You never know. See, this is dumb rage. They're down 10, and they're still going for a touchdown. They're down 10. See, this is where the Raiders are stupid, because they're stupid. You need two scores. However you get them, it doesn't matter. So,
yeah, but there's so much more pressure that if you get the field goal and then you have to get the touchdown. So you might as well get the touchdown first and take off the pressure.
No, it's basic. Oh, it's a nice play. Well, they got the touchdown. They did get the touchdown. Or did they not? Was he pass? What's going on? Hold on.
Ooh, he might be short.
I think he was in. I think he was in, but
he's short.
Well, they're calling him short, aren't they?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Went down right before.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Again, this is so stupid. Well, listen, we can argue about math, but I'm going to win math arguments, I think. I mean, if you're down, whatever. I've seen dumb teams do dumb things. The pressure of this, the pressure of that. Well, it doesn't matter if you can't get the ball back.
True.
So go for it. You take another snap, waste some more time, or be smart and kick in a field. Well, they'll have to call a timeout, though.
Also, I hate the rule that you now have to announce an onside kick. Not that the Broncos wouldn't know in this instance, but I'm like, that is the dumbest rule. I'm sorry. I think it's so stupid.
I think the whole field goal situation or kickoff situation is stupid.
I agree.
Yeah, his elbow is definitely down.
Yeah.
All right, our watch along brought to you by. Wait, hold on. Yeah.
Definitely down.
All right, so they take, because if they don't call a timeout there, they'd have to take a runoff, a 10-second runoff. So, well, okay. I mean, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Now, this is dumb. Listen, okay, whatever. You should just kick a. You know what? I'm not trying to help the Raiders. Whatever.
Regardless, it seems nearly impossible, but you never say it until the clock hits double zeros. I have learned my lesson on that front, but all feels well. It feels like the Broncos got this one. Even if they score the touchdown here, who cares?
Right. Dumb though, but whatever.
Let's see.
Right, see? I mean, it's only a couple seconds, but, like, what are you doing? I mean, whatever, man. I don't care. But if they kick, Rachel, you see what I'm saying? Like, if they kick the field goal, you're down one, you're going to have to onside kick. Well, that's 2 seconds that are now gone. Stupid teams do stupid things.
No, trust me. I agree. Were you impressed with how well the Raiders came out?
I was depressed. I was depressed how they came out.
Really surprised. Like, they came out ready.
Boom! There it is. Sack. You'll see it here in a second. Sorry to interrupt you.
Give me 3 seconds.
And they can't stop the clock because you're idiots because you didn't kick an extra point, and you lose.
Yep.
There it is. You lose because you're morons. You're a dumb organization, and you deserve to lose, you dumb, stupid Raider idiots. How do you like that, Rachel?
Seems like you almost play for the Broncos or something. Let's see.
This is so stupid. You're so dumb.
Oh.
All right, here's what we do here. I do like a 5-minute react, Rachel, just to walk everybody through it, and then we get into our post-game show. So I'm going to take you out for a second. Let me just make sure I can take you in and take you out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I can? All right, that works. All right. I just want to make sure I can do it. And I got to get something set up. This is going to look slick. Okay. The Broncos finally beat the Raiders. Finally, 29-19. It wasn't a smooth game. They put up a lot of points. The Raiders be-Raidering. The Broncos knocked out Gardner Minshew. And, they put in Desmond Ridder. I didn't even know Ridder was on the team. My bad. In terms of what Bo Nix did, pretty outstanding. And the Raiders were -2 in the game because they're idiots. Bo Nix, 25 of 42 for 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception, only took 1 sack. The story, though, is the Broncos just couldn't shake the Raiders. The Raiders led at halftime, and the Broncos came back because they turned the ball over. That's what they do. They were -2, and ultimately they turned the ball over on a bad pass from Gardner Minshew to who knows what. And Brandon Jones got the interception in the red zone. 2 touchdown passes to Cortland Sutton, who had a huge game. And Cortland goes 8 of 97 for 12.1 per, couple of touchdowns. They lay 6 catches for 80 yards, and Mims 6 for 80. Meanwhile, Javonte Williams, 8 rushes for -2. Not great. Broncos, 22 carries for 63 yards, so not a very balanced game. But again, this is what the Raiders do. They've lost a lot of games like this where they're kind of in it and it just gets away from them. And that happened to them again today. Now, for everybody who was just so in love with Brock Bowers, yeah, what a game. 4 catches for 38 yards. 4 for 38. Is that impressive? Did that change the game? I can't believe they scored 19 points. And that was a bunch of field goals, but a bunch of field goals from the Broncos too. Will Lutz, 5 of 5. Meanwhile, Daniel Carson, 4 of 4. So it was a game that nobody could really finish. Not really. It was good for Cortland Sutton. The Raiders got 1 touchdown to start the game, and then it was just a bunch of field goals after that. So it's just kind of a sloppy game. It wasn't anything fantastic. It wasn't anything that, you're going to be that proud or that pumped about. But what matters is the Broncos absolutely winning, and winning is the bottom line here. So the Broncos win by 10, and at the end of the day, you feel good about it with a Monday night game against the Browns, who are tough. Listen, man, this game was closer than I thought it was going to be. I had it 31-13, so I had an 18 points, a 10-point game, and the Broncos win to move on. But let's get into the post-game show. And I'm joined by Rachel Vigil. Look at this, Rach.
Hi.
Your thoughts on the game overall?
I struggle a little bit because obviously it wasn't the game I think Broncos country wanted. We were all kind of expecting them to go out there and dominate like they did against the Falcons. That doesn't happen. But I've been telling people this for pretty much all season. There's going to be so many roller coasters with this Broncos team because, one, they have a rookie quarterback. They're still just trying to figure things out. And I feel like this was one of those games where I was like, as long as they get a win, who cares? It's still a rivalry game. It's still an AFC West game. You got to go out there and win those. And they were able to do it. So, yeah, does it suck that they didn't go out there and put 40 on them? Sure. Did it suck that they looked a little rough to begin with? Yeah, but guess what? They came out and they were able to figure it out and they were able to get the win. So I get the disappointment, but I'm also like, a win's a win. So we got to roll with it. Like, I'm happy about it.
Our post-game show brought to you by Journey Spice. You can save 20% using the coupon code 20GRIDIRON at Amazon.com. Journey Spice sponsoring all of our watch-alongs for the Broncos and the CU Buffs. Running game, what'd you think of Javonte?
I'm a huge Javonte Williams fan. Like, as a person, I'm all in on Javonte Williams. Very, very nice. I know everybody talks about how he's so short with the media and all this. I feel like I've had really good conversations with Javonte to kind of understand where he's been at times, but it's just not working. And I feel so guilty saying that, but it's not working. You got to go. I mean, Jaleel McLaughlin, he was the hot hand today. When he went down for a second, I was like, oh no, this is going to be really, really bad. But the difference between Jaleel and Javonte that I've noticed is Javonte almost overthinks it. Like, he's kind of, I feel like, looking for these paths in his eyes. And so he like stops for a split second. Compared to Jaleel, he just gets the ball and he just powers through. Like, whichever way he's going to go, that's doing it. And he's just moving. But it's that split second, which is enough to give any sort of defense the opportunity to come after you and get you and stop you. And it feels like that's the main difference there. Audric Estime, I think he's a stud. I've been so excited about him since training camp. So I love it, but I feel like you got to change up the rotation. But then you have a game like last week where Javonte actually looked really good. So while I'm not a huge running back by committee fan, I'm here for the play the hot hand and see what happens. But guy Javonte, it's been a struggle this year.
Yeah, he seems to just be like hesitating all over the place. He seems to not be attacking the line of scrimmage, and it just is like, come on, man, let's go. And today was, I mean, the Broncos just could not. I think Sean Payton and the team, I doubt they're like pumped up or excited about this game. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, getting a win, listen, they're 7-5. That's good. You beat the Raiders on the road. That's good. It hasn't happened since 2015. Yeah. You've won now 2 of the 4 games you've got to win if you want to make the playoffs. That's good. You don't turn down wins. But, I mean, 8 rushes for -2 yards, 2.9 yards per carry. Jaleel was all right. Yeah, Jaleel was okay. I think, and I'm nervous that Jaleel
was the hot hand of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, but
he may not have been great, but he was the hot hand.
I don't know, man. It was a weird game. It was just a weird game. Cortland was incredible. 8 catches for 97 yards. And Vele had kind of a breakout game. 6 catches for 80 yards with a long and 24. 2 touchdowns from Court, which were fantastic. I guess I should feel better about this one than I do. This game almost pisses me off that it was as close as it was, Rach.
Yeah, I know. And then you look at the final score and you're like, oh, like they handed the Raiders a big loss, and it doesn't feel like that at all. I'm bummed Cortland didn't get that 100 yards. Like I'm bummed for it. I want Cortland to succeed really bad. I think that there is some incentives in that contract restructuring so he can get some, but I think it includes a 1,000-yard season. I mean, he's over 700 yards now, so he should be able to do it. But it's like you just need him to have those big games, and the connection between him and Bo, it struggled at the beginning of the year, I thought, in my opinion. But man, is it so strong now at this point. Like, Bo's throwing some serious darts to him, but Portland's also doing his part too, and he looks really good.
Yeah, he was exceptionally strong. Where are you on the Bo Nix believing bandwagon, Rach? Where are you at?
I'm a Bo lever. I've been a Bo lever for weeks now. Okay, I think he is the guy. I think that him and Sean, they just fit really well together. They've got a great relationship. Like, we didn't see DMac. Picture this. With all the mistakes on the timeouts that they had, if that would have been Russell Wilson doing that, and I hate to bring up that name because I know it's a sore subject, Sean would have chewed Russ out how many times on all of those timeouts that were miscalled? Like, they would have got chewed. And so there's some sort of trust and relationship that I just feel like Bo and Sean, they're working, man. They're working.
Yeah, by the way, for people to know, I'm in a bar, number 38 in Rhino, and I was here with the radio station, and then I just hung out, and they weren't kicking me out, and they gave me free food and drink. But water, Rachel, water.
Take it.
Yes, I had my share this weekend, so I'm good. It's water. It's hydration time to get in. So it was nice and bright because it was daylight out, and well, now I'm in a bar where it's dark to try to explain that. But we'll work on all of our minutia. It's so great to have Rachel join us and be part of everything that we're doing. We absolutely love it. She's the best. And look at my guy, Andon from Journey Spice. That's my season. Bo Nix has shown all the improvement I need to see this season. I knew he was the guy in March. Sorry, haters. Nix is the future. Here's what I had to deal with, Rachel. I was a huge Bo Nix guy at the time of the draft. Huge. Thank you, Andon. Hearing about how Brock Bowers, I don't even know what to say when people don't understand the value of a quarterback next to a tight end. I'm not sure what to say to that.
Well, I think you had to be a huge Russell Wilson fan to say you should have gone after Brock Bowers. But the Broncos needed a quarterback. We were all sick of the rotation. We were sick of the roller coaster that came with it. And I'm glad that they did go quarterback. And I'm glad they got Bo Nix. Like, some of the other guys that they possibly could have taken and moved up for, I mean, they weren't getting a Jaden Daniels, who I think is the other front runner for Rookie of the Year. But I think Bo Nix has taken over that spot now. I'm sorry. He needs to be the favorite. You
know what? And I know, and I didn't see it, but I heard they, like, mixed an extra point or, well, no. I think they missed an extra point.
Brutal.
And somehow, well, the Cowboys won. So I actually don't know the specific. Wow, the Cowboys scored 24 points in the fourth quarter.
I was nearly falling asleep on my couch for that entire game. And then, of course, when I send out a tweet of my dog cuddling on the couch with me saying that, that's when the game got interesting, which is right around the time the Broncos game was starting. That game was ridiculous they had so many special teams problems as well, like insane. It was nuts.
Well, Jaden Daniels had 26 of 38 for 275, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. He also ran for 74 yards. And now the Commanders, Rachel, have the same exact record as the Broncos.
Yeah.
So when you want to talk about Rookie of the Year, the Broncos and the Commanders have the same record.
Yep.
I mean, those are big numbers from Jaden Daniels, no doubt about it.
For sure.
But it gets a lot more interesting and a lot closer to the season Bo Nix is having, isn't it? Very interesting.
And Bo's leading in touchdowns right now. I think Jaden's got 2 less than him, maybe 3. I can't remember the exact number after the game, but listen, that's all I'm going to say is he's the front runner, man.
Well, I'll tell you this overall, for sure. Bo Nix had a better day today because he didn't turn the ball over.
Yep.
He threw for just about the same amount of yards, 273, 2 touchdowns. But here has been the difference, Rach, not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
And he's been incredibly reliable with the ball. He doesn't fumble. He doesn't really throw interceptions at a great clip.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay every now and then if you're going to go 3 and out rather than taking some crazy unnecessary chance.
Yeah.
And so, but that's boring though, isn't it? That's not exciting, just taking care of the ball. And I've heard people call it every excuse under the book is a game manager is a bad thing. Or that ESPN article that came out, well, it's like he's getting all these yards when the game isn't close. Like the game's not close, or a lot of these games aren't close because you're managing the game.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not close.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Although I didn't agree with a lot of Sean Payton's play callings today. I thought he was getting a little too cutesy at times, and I was like, Sean, I hate this. Like, why are we getting cutesy against the Raiders?
All right, what in particular were you not a fan of?
How many screenplays did we see?
You didn't like that?
No, I don't know. I mean, don't show your hand, obviously, but for how bad they played in the first half, I was like, come on, we got to be able to do something. So I just thought he got a little too cutesy that I wasn't a huge fan.
All right, well, what were you a huge fan of? Let's talk about it. What'd you like about the game? And we'll see if we can't. It's a little tricky with the road games with the technology, so we'll see if we hear from the Broncos. But what did you like? What impressed you today?
One, I just feel like week after week we're seeing Bo Nix continue to improve, and I really do appreciate that. Like I said, there's going to be a roller coaster with him, but I like it. I like that they're feeding into Vele and then Cortland Sutton. Devon Vele is a freaking stud. Like, he could become a household name here in the next 5 years for everybody. Like, he's that type of player, and I feel like we're just really seeing them start to lock in on different guys. I'm glad Marvin Mims had that really nice catch too and run. Like, he struggled this year for sure. Running back, I still struggle with. I don't know what the answer to that is going to be. I guess my one question to you is, looking forward to next Monday night, what is the bigger miss if Zach Allen doesn't play or if Riley Moss doesn't play?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's going to be Zach Allen. Now, you're going to make me look something up really quick, and that's how effective Cleveland is at running the ball. And, of course, they got a huge upset win against the Steelers in kind of ridiculous conditions. The game is here in Denver, and I think the weather's going to be, just fine. I don't know. It's hard to determine anything from that last game, so it's so quirky. I think they miss it a little bit today, although the Raiders aren't a great rushing team. Mm-hmm. And the Browns have Nick Chubb. I'm just looking at the Raiders rushing numbers here. 16 for 69, 4.3. I mean, it's all right. It's no big deal. The Broncos struggled at rushing the ball more than the Raiders. Is Zach Allen supposed to be out for that game, by the way? Is that what you're hearing?
I have no idea, but he had that foot or that boot on, obviously, and nobody was expecting him to be out today. So, something definitely got messed up, which isn't good.
It might be a moot point because I'm super nervous about the Riley Moss injury because it looks like it's his knee. Yeah. And I will
say, though, you and I both know, if it's immediate seriousness, they automatically will degrade them as out. And he was questionable there for a minute. Even though he wasn't on the bench, they still labeled him as questionable. So it makes me think that they are waiting to get some tests back, but it was just wasn't worth the risk.
I don't know if Riley Moss is a better player than Zach Allen, but it's a more vulnerable position. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, I thought this was going to be a blowout. It's 10 points. I thought it was going to be an 18-point game. It's 10, not 18. All right, so I was a little off there. But in the NFL, 10 points is, pretty solid.
Yeah.
I wasn't nervous about this game at all. That's why I find myself pissed off and frustrated because I just don't think it should have been as hard as it was.
But it's still a rivalry game. So every single time, like any AFC West game is going to be tough. Like they always say, don't overlook those games. Don't overlook the teams that have, a losing record at the time or the losing streak. Like don't do that. And it's the NFL. We see upsets every single week. So I'm just glad that the Broncos didn't allow that to be an upset.
I'm really concerned about Cleveland. I'm not going to lie. Yes. Then you finally have your bye week. Myles Garrett, Mike McGlinchey was like borderline terrible today. I think he had, especially early, 3 penalties. It was obvious. Listen, I think Max Crosby is a really good player. He is really good, but he's not as good as Myles Garrett. Mm-hmm. And that's a guy who could just wreck shop. And I hate to move on to something negative after, such an overall positive thing here, obviously. But I'm nervous about. I wasn't nervous about this one at all. That's why I was pissed off. It shouldn't have been that close. It makes me mad that it was this close. It just pisses me off. The Cleveland game, I'm gonna be happy. A 1-point win, any way you can figure it out, any way you can get it done would be amazing. I'll pick the Broncos to win fucking 24-23, like whatever. I mean, 17-16, 13-12, 2-1, whatever. I'll just pick that would be fine by me. This one felt like it kind of mattered more. Like they're a terrible team, arguably the worst team in the league, and then you should treat them as such. And so it's just frustrating not to see it.
Okay, out of everything though, what was the most concerning part to you? Was it defense or offense? I mean,
it was kind of special teams. It was like giving up that long kickoff return. Mm-hmm. Gosh, what was well, there was another special teams moment I'm forgetting. There's something else that pissed me off about special teams. There were just a couple of weird special teams things. I can't be that upset with a defense, Rach, that only gives up, 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. All right. And granted, the Raiders are stupid and they should have, you see what I mean now by just kick the field goal and then try for the onside kick. I mean, that's beyond obvious now, but they're a dumbass team with a stupid ass coach doing dumbass shit. And this is why what you saw. And it's not like Deion Sanders is the greatest game manager in the world. He's not. But, without a quarterback, and Minshew he sucks. He sucks, Rage, because he makes a couple of good plays here and there. But look how many mistakes. Look how often he just dirts the ball. He can't get it to the receiver. And this is what I love about Bo Nix. How many times did Bo just sort of recognize the situation and make the appropriate easy/boring play?
Yeah.
Boring Bo is effective Bo.
I said all of training camp that we were going to see a lot of quick throws from Bo, 5 yards, move down the field. Like it wasn't going to be the 40-yard passes where everybody's screaming and shouting, but that's fine because you still get the win at the end of the day. Like, let's be real. They have to win the games that, are kind of the quote unquote easy games on the schedule and they make the playoffs. And that's what they did. If they could have beat the Ravens or the Chiefs, it would have been like, man, we really got one, but you didn't have to, but you had to win this game to still be talking about the playoffs. And they did.
All right.
DMac's just grumpy, everyone.
I'm sorry. I'm so grumpy. I've been in actually a great mood all week and I'm sorry. I'm so grumpy today. Antonio Pierce, according to Adam Schefter, Rach, said Minshew's left shoulder injury doesn't look good. So
we never
there you go.
Injuries, ever.
All right, so I'm seeing what happened with, oh my God, for the first time I'm seeing Commanders, Cowboys. Holy shit.
Dude, it was ridiculous. It was
oh my God. So Jaden Daniels threw like an 89-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
With no time on the clock and they missed the extra point?
Yeah. It was
no way.
It really was.
No way. So they got a walk-off touchdown down 7 of 89 yards and missed the extra point?
Yeah. And their kicker took the entire blame too. He was like, "Nope, this one is on me. Like I let my
Oh
teammates down."
my God. I'm just seeing that.
Sean Payton told the Broncos that last year they wouldn't have won this game.
Oh, interesting. That's good. Yeah.
A shot at their quarterback, or is that a shot at the growth they've taken?
Oh, you know what? I got a little Sean Payton here.
No.
Hold on. See if I can do this. See if I can technically do this, Rach. Wait. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go back. Can I go back to the beginning? Hold on.
Well, if he does it, let us know in the comments because I'm really curious.
All right, hold on.
How are you all feeling on this Broncos win? Are you frustrated or are you just happy they got a win?
I'd like to feel like 6. I am. There you go. Thank you. Look, gritty, good team win. Tough. Defensively, man, we battled with, especially with some short fields. You know, we met Tuesday as a staff, and it wasn't a matter if, it was when they were going to run a fake punt. You know, when you're struggling as a team like this, we had it on the keys to victory, and so credit them, they executed it. Then they get a kick, you know, so our defense defended, I'd say, a lot of minus situations where, and they handled it well. Offensively, we struggled in the first half. We got a lot of cover zero, a lot of blitz, a lot of pressure, a lot more than we expected, and which made it hard to run the ball, obviously, with some of those looks. So the second half, though, we battled back. I think we were one of something third down in the first half, and then the second half, we just had to beat the pressure. And you know, a year ago, we don't win that game. And so, you know, it wasn't our best, but it was good enough. And we're on to the next one. So we'll have a lot to clean up. But it was good to handle these guys for a second time. Any questions? They aren't. I think I said this to them, you know, the elite teams in 17 regular season games will be really ready for 13 or 14 of those games. And then the ones that are not, they still find a way to win. And they may lose a few, but they find a way still. And I said to them today that, you know, our team a year ago didn't win this game, but this team did. And you built some grit. We won the turnover battle again. You know, we were the better team today, and we didn't always play like it, but we'll get those things cleaned up. One at a time. I'm just talking about this team. I'm not talking about last year. This team's entirely different. I'm just talking about what I see with the mental toughness, the grit, the fortitude, how they work. This is an entirely different team from a year ago. And then that's no discredit to the last year's team, just is what it is.
All right. That's good. That's good, Rach. We got that.
I see, Sean.
He's totally insulting the team from last year, Rach.
And I think it's a direct hit at the quarterback, probably.
Of course. He hates Russell Wilson. Spicy Sean.
How many conversations did we have afterwards where it was like, no, Russ and I get along just fine, and all of us were like, yeah, about that.
It's such a lie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, do
you think that we will talk about Russell Wilson for like the rest of forever? I know people get sick of it. You think that'll end soon?
Yeah, I kind of think it's done, frankly. I mean, it's done for me to the degree that I find myself kind of rooting for Russ. I'm not rooting against Russell Wilson now. So I hope he succeeds, man. I mean, I think him and Sean were just oil and water. It wasn't the right mix. Obviously, Russell is way off schedule and not a process guy, and that drives Sean Payton nuts. Yeah. Sean, and listen, this is why Bo Nix works out so well. He's living up there in Castle Pines playing categories on a Friday night with his wife and the girlfriends. You know, they're hosting the book club. I mean, he lives a life like a 55-year-old retired CEO. And he's not – Russ and Sierra were having fashion shows, Rach. And, you know, the Bo Nix isn't – I mean, All right, you're down with the social media. His wife, Izzy Smoke. By the way, what a name, by the way, Izzy Smoke. So she put some things up, but it's like any 24, 25-year-old person would do. It's not produced or anything. What's that say again?
It's just typical influencer stuff.
Yeah. No, it's just like what anybody would do. I mean, when you would see Russell Wilson, like, happy birthday to Win, his son or 7, and it's like a Hollywood movie shoot. It's like, well, how much work is going into this? And it's just like, well, what the hell are you focused on, man? And when you have a digital editing team, Rach, and we do this for a living. We don't have a digital editing team. We're just us. We're figuring it out. And the problem was Russ employed all those people, so those people thought they had to do shit to justify getting money from Russ. Yeah. Bo Nix has none of that. And I'm going to guess that just drove Sean Payton nuts, even though Russ had cut back on a lot of it. And it was ultimately more about football than anything. But in all honesty, 7 wins with Bo Nix, Rach. 7 wins with a couple more at least to come. No, I mean, we've moved on. The Vegas had the Broncos at 5.5, way past that. You have the same record as the Commanders with their star, Jaden Daniels. No. And by the way, they're flexing that Broncos game because Bo Nix is an attraction with Justin Herbert. Yep. No, it's happened. So, Russ, I don't even care. I seriously don't care.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Russ too. I hope that he does well. I think that it's fascinating to see how that conversation continues. But I love that Bo Nix is all in on football. I mean, you can tell from any of his press conferences, like, it is just all about football. It's all about getting better. It's all about the team. Nothing personal, no personal accolades. I think he handles it all really, really well. So yeah, I'm happy that he's the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And I think he's so fun to watch, even if we are getting just the quick throw down the field, right down the middle, 5-yard moves, and it's nothing crazy. Like, a win's a win. And so I saw the comments that were coming in. People were like, yeah, I'm happy they won. Like, that's all that matters.
By the way, our team last year wouldn't have won that game.
True.
Think about that for a second. That is, I mean, I think it's Russ, but I think it's more than that too.
It was a separation.
That is funny that Sean Payton wants to create a separation from last year's team to this year's team, as if he wasn't even the coach of last year's team.
I know. Spicy
those guys over there. Yeah, Spicy Sean.
We love Spicy Sean. I'm here for it. Honestly, I've gained like so much more respect for Sean Payton over the last couple of months. Like, he knows exactly what he wants. He does exactly what he wants. And it definitely does work out when things go his way. Like, I've got a ton of respect for him. Also, the fact that he donated $150,000 for that playground is so cool. Like, we need to shout that out.
Okay.
Do you not agree?
No. You're right. Like, You're right. You're right.
Kids.
For the kids.
For the kids.
I agree. Money is relative to how much money you got, but you're right. They
may have only needed $150,000 to build the entire playground. So maybe
you're right. My guy, and Russell Wilson is my weasel turd. I absolutely can't stand that guy. Well, appreciate it, Andon. Aaron Rodgers is a weasel turd because he says things. Well, yeah. What are they? Were they even playing today? Were they even losing today? What were the Jets even doing? I don't even know.
Attention to the Jets at all.
I don't know.
I think he's done though, and I don't know who would pick him up.
Nobody. Why? They had a bye. Okay.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want Aaron Rodgers at this point? Seriously, why would anybody want him?
Honestly, thank goodness the Broncos didn't get him. Like, thank goodness.
Hey, Rachel, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys? Thank you guys for all the love in the comments too. I appreciate it. I'm doing good though. I'm straight chilling. Happy to just be talking sports, to be honest with you.
I agree. Nick's had this intense look in his eyes all game. He is definitely dialed in. Yeah, this is all, Rachel, this is what this guy does, okay? Like, he's football and that's it. And that's what Sean wanted. That's it.
Yep.
I think I am not joking because there was that video that came out of all the quarterbacks with the wives, and they're playing some silly game or something, having fun. Okay.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
With all the Broncos quarterbacks, and they were asking him all of the girl things.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it's a big trend. It's really
and
funny.
they're sitting there watching Thursday Night Football
Yep.
in their jammies, sweatpants, with the ladies are having their glass of wine.
Yep.
The boys are just on the big couch. I mean, it's something you'd see like in high school or something. It's kind of cute.
No, it was so funny. I loved it.
And you see that there's a connection with all of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I saw it in training camp, the way Stidham, Nix, and Wilson were all working well together. It's obvious the ladies are all friends. They're the Halloween party was at Patrick Surtain's joint. It was nice and simple. It wasn't at the Gothic Theater. It's a focused team. I guess I'm just a little pissed off that it was even close at all today. And I'm going to get over it quickly because at the end of the day, you won the game on the road. You finally beat the Raiders. They're a terrible team. They only scored one touchdown and a bunch of field goals, and that's it. So many more good things, Rachel, than bad things. So many more good things than bad things.
Yeah, we're all in on this Denver Broncos team. It's like the first time that they're back since the Super Bowl, so we're all really excited about it, and we want them to just go out there and, slaughter teams like they did against the Falcons. And that's not going to be the reality for a while. I mean, this team is still building on itself week after week, and we just have to accept it. So what moves do the Broncos make this year in offseason to ensure a deep playoff run next season? What a great question. What moves do they make? I think you got to go and find a different running back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I like that. By the way, the Boise State kid, Genty, I think he is going to be a first-round guy. He just went over 2,000 yards, and he may go as late as like 19, 20, something like that, where the Broncos are probably likely to be. So they need to go with some playmaking help for Bo Nix. Yeah. So that's either receiver, tight end, or running back. So I don't really care as long as they go in that direction.
Do you think, though, that they have the wide receiver room's not as bad as we thought? Yeah, it's not a bunch of household names that everybody is, but if Courtland Sutton can be number one, you still hopefully are going to get Josh Reynolds back at some point. Obviously, he went through a traumatic event in his life and was dealing with an injury. You get him back. Devon Vele's looking really good and steady. Like, do you think that the wide receiver room's really as bad as we all made it out to be?
Well, Courtland Sutton's been incredidible. Okay.
Yeah, he's finally been a number one.
But is he $30 million a year incredible, Rach?
No.
Because that's what the top guys are getting. I don't think so either, but he's been great. I'm so glad he's on the team. Are they better? I'll tell you this. Vele is great, okay? And he was hurt a little bit at the beginning, but he's great. He's a keeper.
Yeah.
We don't know about Josh Reynolds because he had the finger injury. Then he got shot. So we really just haven't seen Josh Reynolds, who was supposed to be a contributor. Troy Franklin I think this kid's going to be a work in progress. Mims, they're trying to make into Deebo Samuel out of the backfield, but they've had consecutive games using him as a receiver out of the backfield. And in order, Rachel, to use him as a receiver out of the backfield, you are going to have to hand him the ball so he's somewhat believable as a running back too. That's interesting, and I'm glad they're doing it. So I guess the answer to your question is yes. I think they are actually. So yes is the answer. I think they are a little bit better than we expected. Yeah, I think the answer is yes.
And I know I see everybody in the comments too talking about like a tight end, how they need a tight end. I actually don't think that their tight end room is bad. I mean, Greg Dulcich is obviously a wash. Like, we haven't seen him, obviously, for many reasons. But, like, I think if Sean Payton really wanted to utilize the tight ends more and they would build more chemistry, I don't think it would be a terrible tight end room. Would it be a Travis Kelce, George Kittle type tight end room? No, but those guys are obviously insane for multiple reasons. But I think it would be a decent tight end room that they could build off of, and we just don't see that. I just don't think it's part of Sean Payton's plan.
All right, let's see here. We need more skill. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Our tight ends are kind of invisible. Boy, let me take a peek at it, Rach.
I think that's by
Today,
Sean Payton's design. Like, I mean, we've seen them have great spurts of, like nice plays.
Wow.
I just don't think Sean includes them very much.
Wow. So 1 catch for Troutman on 2 targets for 3 yards.
Yeah.
And that was it from the wow.
They have Lucas Cole out there for pass pro, but that's it.
So Rachel, Bo Nix threw it 42 times, and there were 2 targets to 1 tight end.
But that's why I'm like, this is Sean Payton. Like, it's not like they're throwing it to those guys and they're just not making plays. Like, that's not Sean Payton's game plan. That's not what he wants. I don't know why, because it's a tight end happy league, but I just don't think it's what Sean wants.
That's pretty wild, man, though. I mean, wow. 42 targets, 2 to wow. Okay. Whereas, let me look at the targets for Bowers. Bowers had 10 targets, only 4 catches for 38 yards. So obviously they held him in check.
Yeah.
I mean, golly, man, they did throw for 328 yards, but a lot of that came in garbage time.
That's crazy.
And Broncos had 5 sacks, Rachel. 5 sacks. Outstanding. And got
that
the turnovers.
Is one thing you cannot do in the offseason, going back to that question. They cannot break up this defense. This defense is working. So whatever you do, you got to keep them together.
All right, sacks. We got a half sack from Cooper and DJ Jones. Malcolm Roach got a sack. Half sack from Wazirike. How about that after all he's been through?
Yeah.
So he gets on the board there. And then Nick Benito gets a sack and Jonah Ellis gets a sack. In terms of tackles for losses, 4, not that many. 8 tackle for losses from the Raiders, and that's why things looked a little icky. Only 1 sack, but they were getting the Broncos behind the line of scrimmage all day. So that's why that looked a little, tackle for loss, sack, kind of the same thing. So, that didn't look great. Not the same thing, but a good stat to have.
Don't sleep on the non-usage of tight ends now. Maybe our secret weapon in the playoffs. Interesting.
Yeah, I doubt it. Well, listen, first of all, calm down with the playoffs, okay? All right, chill a little bit.
You're kidding.
Oh, well, you got to get to 10 wins. Tell me how you get to 10 wins. Tell me how you get to 10 wins.
I think that they will beat the Chargers.
You think they'll beat the Chargers?
I do.
Okay, well then I guess you're there if you can think they're going to beat the Chargers then.
I do, or they'll beat the Chiefs in Week 18.
Okay.
So there you go.
You see the Chiefs barely won today? They barely won again.
As good as their record. That's the truth. They are so freaking lucky, but yeah, they're not as good as their record.
DMac, win our 3 home games, get to 10. Okay, so you beat Cleveland theoretically on Monday night, which is going to be tough.
Yeah. That's a tougher game than I think people think.
I think it's tough. I think it's really tough.
Yeah.
Beat the Colts after a bye week. I think the Colts are going to be a challenge. I think you should win, but they're going to be a challenge. Not as hard as the Browns, but a challenge. And then you're right. You got the Chiefs at home, and we'll see if they have anything to play for. I'm going to say the Chiefs are pretty burned out too, Rachel. They remind me a lot of the Nuggets after the championship year. There's just not a lot of gas in the tank. I mean, they're surviving. They're getting by, but barely. Yeah. So I'm going to guess they. We'll see. Well, also, I think they're going to run out of gas.
Riley Moss, MCL injury. Sean Payton said not that serious, or doesn't appear to be serious. So that's good.
MCL's probably MCL. I don't know. That could be 3 weeks. Yeah, 2-3 weeks, something like that. They got the bye week coming up too.
Yeah.
That's MCL's kind of just like knees are weird. It's like a 3-week thing or like a year. Like there's like no in betweens. It's kind of like not that bad. 3 weeks, whatever, or we'll see you next year. So, that's kind of that's good if that's the case.
Yep. We need Zach Allen back. I know.
MCL probably got 4 weeks. We'll see. Browns are not playing with any effort. Well, I don't know about that. Didn't Vegas have Denver at 5.5 games? They did.
Yep.
All right, Rach. Awesome. Last thoughts. You got anything you want to throw out there to the peeps?
Don't be grumpy. The Broncos got the win. Playoffs are trending in the right direction, hopefully. I'm excited for Monday night's game, though. I think it's going to be really, really good. Let's see how else. So I feel I'm just happy they got the win. I'm happy that Bo looked good, too. He can throw some darts. It's fun to watch him.
Yeah. We love having Rachel here. Me and Rachel will be on Wednesday night at 6:30. That's the next time we'll get together. And we'll see what adjustments, if anything, the Broncos make for Thanksgiving. They might, though. They might, because they've got a Monday night game, not a Sunday game. Yeah. So Nathaniel Hackett was ridiculous about Thanksgiving. But the Broncos could actually
change it up.
They could, because they could. We'll see. That'll be interesting. Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting because Sean could do a couple things with this. First of all, he could give him a couple days off, just period. You just he could give him 3 days off. He could give him Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off. But that means they come back.
He did not play that well to deserve that.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
All right.
We will be on a normal schedule. I'll bet money.
All right.
They need the extra day of work.
We thank Journey Spice. Save 20% at Amazon.com using the code 20Gridiron. Ultimately, great win. Rachel, I will see you. Thanks to number 38 here in Rhino for hosting. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Everybody, thanks for watching. I am actually back later tonight with Mike Sanford for Altitude After Dark at 8 o'clock to chop this up and the bus game as well. So we'll talk to you a little bit later tonight. Thanks, Rach. Talk to you later. Bye.